All right, so me and Fury, we're gonna teach you guys how to do valve springs today. Between the two of us, we're probably as smart as you, so you should definitely be able to do this. When you're doing a camshaft, you should always do valve springs, no matter how small the cam is, because usually by the time you're doing it, it's got 100,000+ miles on it. And you're going through the work to put a cam in. With this cam, or with this valve spring compressor, you can do it on the engine, when the head's on the engine. So I recommend just doing it, just getting it out of the way. Yeah, they're expensive, but hold on, before Fury jumps off. All right, so we lost Fury. He had better things to do. But yeah, I'm gonna go over it, show you the tools. These are PSI springs. That's normally what I end up running everything. I'm an MMX dealer, so that's who they have. So that's what I go with. Pretty much every valve spring that they offer for the Hemi that I've seen comes with a big spacer locator at the bottom of the spring. Usually a lot of the valve springs, I think, so the 1311, they're an LS spring that you put on these. And then the spacer difference is what you make up for your seat pressure. The intakes have a little more seat pressure than the exhaust. But yeah, go over the tools and what everything looks like. It's pretty easy, but yeah. So like I said, when you look at it, you're gonna get this paper in there. This tells you your spring pressures and stuff like that. So see how it says LS1, LS6 valve spring. So don't be alarmed by that. All the springs are gonna say LS1, LS6 or whatever. So don't think they sent you the wrong springs. And then this is the instructions from MMX. So these ones come with all black and they're 1511s, not 1311s like I thought. And then with the 1516s, you'll put the gold one on the intake. This isn't a very big cab, so we don't need the 1516 springs. We can get away with the 1511s. And then this is my valve spring compressor. It's all right. It's hemitools.com. And it feels like it's gonna break every time I use it, and I feel like I'm gonna give myself a lobotomy when this thing shoots off, but hasn't yet, so we'll keep using it till then. And then if I don't have any videos anymore, you'll know why. It's from this. But you can see there, got a full factory head. This is 5.7 head. It's a MMX max lope cam that's going in this. So that's the spring kit for this, is 1511 for the max lope from MMX. Also, you may be wondering why the header's still on it. It's because I'm lazy. Okay, so first things first, you need to separate the seal from the retainer from the lock. So you tap lightly on these with a hammer. Make sure you don't use a steel hammer. Use something like that, rubber, plastic, whatever you got that's not steel, that's not gonna do it. You gotta be careful because you can bend the valve. So you're listening for an audible change once it releases. That's really high pitch when you first hit it, and then it'll be more of like a thud noise once it is released. So once you get the thud, you should be good to go. If you don't do it, you're gonna keep pushing the valve down, and then you're not gonna be able to get the retainer and locks out. So you gotta make sure you bust them loose first. Okay, so these are 13 mils, so you tighten those down. You don't gotta tighten them up very much, just get them snug. And this is 14 on the top. Run this down, if you can get on there. On the low setting, that's why it's making so much noise and not doing anything. But you should probably use a ratchet. Like I said, this thing's an accident waiting to happen, I feel like, but it works all right. It hasn't broke yet, so I shouldn't say too much bad about it, and it's made in the USA. But they make other ones, LSM makes one, so forth. But pull your locks out, baby. All right, so locks are out, and then you just back it off. Probably best to use a ratchet, makes more sense. You're not gonna tear it up as much. But once you get that done, back that off all the way so you can slide it up and over because it's uncompressed now. Pull that out, and then you're gonna pull this shim out. Pull your shim out, then you pull your old seal out. You don't have to do the seals if it's fairly fresh, but I got them, so I'm gonna use them. We got our spring locator in it and our valve seal on. So just slide the seal down the valve. Sometimes they come with like a little condom that slides over it to protect it, because these are kind of sharp on some valves and it can cut it. But then you just get a little socket, put it over it, tap it down, and then you're gonna listen for an audible difference again to know it's fully seated. And then for these, you want to make sure your lip's up. So see that little lip on the top, and that fits pretty snug at the bottom of that. Well, not snug, but it locates it, so it has to locate it. You know what I mean? Also, here's the freestanding height difference between a stock spring and this LS spring. You can tell how much taller the factory one is. And then we got the new spring in with a retainer. These are Molle retainers. So when you do this, you want to make sure you're centered over the valve when you're coming down. And you're going to have to hold this because when you're tightening it, it's going to try to pull it this way. So you got to hold it and then tighten it down. So I can't film that, but you get the idea. Just hold it so it stays centered over the valve, and then you can put your locks back in. All right, so there you have it. There's your new spring in, and then you'll just repeat that on all 16. So all 16 are the same with the 1511s. Like I said, the 1516 is a little bit different. The intakes, you got to be careful. Pay attention to what you're doing. Luckily on this, they're all on the same side. So you do all golds on one side and all blacks on the other. But that's how you do it on a Hemi. It's pretty easy. Fury came back from licking his nuts, so he's showed up when the work's done, as usual. All right, so we got all our valve springs changed out. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments, or I make a video going over something. I can do a quick short, just something that I missed that you thought should be covered. And remember, only pussies wear bow ties.